Story time. I want to tell you about a near-death experience I experienced when I was under 5 years old. Whenever I was under 5 years old, me and my brother, we were in Ohio. We lived in Ohio with my mother at the time. My mom and dad were married. So my brother, we had bunk beds back in the late 70s, early 80s. They had these heavy metal beds, or heavy wood beds with a heavy railing on the bottom, heavy metal. So my mom decided to take the bed and apart and put it side by side. So my brother was infinite wisdom. He was 2 years older than I was, so we were little kids. So we basically decided, he said, I can jump farther in the bed from one bed to the other. I can jump farther than you. No, I can do it. I can jump farther than you. So we were jumping back and forth. I slipped and I fell. And I was like, whoo, and I hit my head right here. Cracked my head wide open. I just remember all the blood. There was so much blood everywhere. So my grandmother came over. She lived next door. So my grandmother came over in her Festiva, a little red Festiva. So we were driving down the road. So my grandmother's driving real fast. And mind you, we lived at the time in a real country town, really far away, like 45 minutes away from the hospital. So my grandmother's driving her little Festiva. I'm on the front seat with my mom, and my mom is holding me. And I look back like this, I can see my grandmother. And I look over my brother is looking over the seat, like right against my mom, saying, Sissy, don't die. Sissy, just don't die. At that moment, I could see myself outside of the window. And I'm looking at myself. I could see all the blood. And then I'm outside the window. Then I'm farther away from the car. I'm looking up like now how a drone would, you pull yourself and look up at the earth. And before I knew it, a brilliant light, I went to the light, a brilliant light. And I just went like instantly to the light. I was instantly in a place. I was in heaven. When I was in heaven, it was white. It was pure love. Oh, Jesus. It was absolutely the purest love you can ever imagine. I have never experienced that kind of love on earth. Ever. The absolute purest love. When Jesus spoke to me, he didn't speak like we speak on earth. He spoke to my mind. I'm not going to tell you much about what happened in heaven right now. But I had passed away. And I was sent back. When I sent back from where I was, whenever I left the car, to whenever my mother got me to the hospital, was 35 to 45 minutes later. The reason I'm telling you this is because in the last 20 years or so, there's been experiences where people have stopped believing in God. They don't believe in heaven. They don't believe in hell. I'm here to tell you it's real. Heaven's a real place and hell's definitely a real place. But let me tell you another story. It's going to coincide with what I'm telling you, what happened to me. We moved from Ohio to Aberdeen, Virginia. And this time, I was like 17 years old, 18. My sister's 5 years older than I am. She had a little girl. She was mixed race. I don't care. I love her. She's a light of my life. We call her Cat. Well, at the time, I went to this church. In this church, the pastor came out of the pulpit, stood right in front of the pulpit. Whole congregation stood up. And we'd been going there. I had been going there a year. Got saved in the church, baptized in the river. But when my sister came, they saw the baby wasn't pure, well, what they thought was pure. They made us leave the church. I'm not telling y'all this story to bash Christianity or anything like that. The reason I'm telling you, because they know not what they do. The people, sometimes people, pastors and people, leaders, maybe their own sick little mind that they think it's right. The reason I'm telling you that, the heart of God is pure. People are falling away from Christianity. They're falling away from God. They're falling away. What we need to do is come back to the Father. Come back to the Father. I'm telling you, it's a real place. Pure love. God is a real God. Jesus is real. Jesus is real. So the reason I'm telling you this, if anything has ever happened to anybody that's hearing this story and they feel like they've been singled out or excommunicated from the church, or it's not God. Come back to God. Come back to the Father. You can just talk to Him. Say, God, forgive me. Forgive them. But come into my heart. Forgive me if I've done knowing or unknowing the Lord Jesus. I don't know if this is going to help anybody. Let me tell you. I've held on to God my whole life. And I can tell you miracles He's done. Things He's done in the world, Lord Jesus. I've seen people come back from the dead. Absolutely pronounced dead. And He's brought them back. And it just wasn't me, honey. I have witnesses to prove it. I've seen things that probably no one in this world has seen. But this is not going to be the last time. Believe me, the words that are coming out of my mouth are truth. Jesus is a healing God. He is a miracle worker. A miracle God. He can do all things. He is the head and not the tail. So I hope this helps somebody. Someone, if you want to hear, I have so many miracles. So many wonderful miracles God has done. But I hope this helps somebody. They know not what they've done. Please don't hold what someone else has done against you going to heaven or you going to hell. Because there are definitely real places. I love y'all. Chin up. Call out to God. He's still waiting on you. Love you.